Hello and welcome to AleksTabletops MTG Quick Study episode 96. My name is Alex and let's start our 96th match. Okay, so here and go. While game is going to load, or while match is loading, quick reminder that MTG Quick Study is a series of one-match episodes that focuses on learning from my own matches by rewatching and trying to analyze them. So we're playing as RPG versus Iron Oaks. Yeah, we're playing, again, we're continuing the kind of serious part of MTG Quick Study where we're focusing for now on basically utilizing the ability to be a part of the early event that's already finished, that allowed us to play Brawl and also kind of preview the future set of Throne of Eldraine, which is actually pretty cool. So again, we're playing a format Brawl, or I don't know how to properly call it, format or not a format. So again, we're playing with the deck that specializes on sacrificing creatures against the deck that specializes on, again, both 3-color decks, both have commanders. Our commander basically specializes, so is the deck itself that built around this commander, specializes in sacrificing mostly. It has a couple of additional kind of mechanics to it, such as proliferate and working with the graveyard basically, but in most cases it's just like straightforward sacrificial thing. It's not easy deck to play, but again, if you know how to play it, it's actually could create a lot of interesting combinations. So yeah, here I decided to basically, so far we actually seemed like we're winning. I mean, the game progresses pretty quickly. I'm kind of like in a rush, so to say. I want to deal as much damage as possible before opponent will be able to gain life with his or her commander. So again, the opponent's deck mostly specializes in flyers, like in artifacts and enchantments, and after those artifacts and enchantments will enter the battlefield, basically it will trigger commander's fake commander ability that will create like another creature flyer. It has a decent amount of destroyers, not necessarily like a lot of them, but enough so opponent actually utilizes them to slow the game down. So now we actually got pretty close to actually almost killing the opponent, but now opponent basically fights back, which is like, I mean 3 lives. Like, I'm truly at this point, I believe, thinking that I'm gonna win this game. But again, it's a weird thing that opponent didn't play anything yet. Maybe opponent had a plan to basically do maybe this and regain life back with 3-4. At this point, I believe I had to push. I believe it was a mistake, maybe, to do this. I actually could kill opponent, like, if I will count the creatures that I have in my possession, if I would attack with all of them, yes, opponent would gain life. I don't know, maybe I decided to be a little bit more cautious. Maybe the fact that opponent had 3-4 with Death Touch and Lifelink basically stopped me. I could push, because even if opponent would kill one of my creatures, basically the result would be a dealing damage with Judith, has a trigger. Okay, this is the worst case scenario. Opponent basically got the proper card at a proper time, I guess. Again, playing with these decks are a little bit harder because it's kind of similar to a singleton format. We have only one copy of each card in, so here of course returning it into hand in order to replay this commander without a modified cost, but it's original cost, which is pretty cool. So yeah, now I'm slowly but surely getting disappointed in the match because, like, I hate those matches when you're basically getting super close to killing an opponent and then opponent just basically rebels in 1 or 2 turns and that's it. I mean, it's awesome when you on the other side, when you almost died and then you basically went through a pretty awesome comeback. But here, we're on the opposite side and I'm actually quite confused. We have a lot of things, but I believe no matter what I will do, I doubt that I'm going to win this. I mean, it's now all about... so the reason why I'm focusing on these cards and why I played those cards, because I want to trigger their passive abilities, and I'm hoping that opponent is not going to be able to gain life fast enough to basically stay long enough to get a lot of lives. But again, since now opponent has this stupid artifact that basically if opponent will attack with one creature, which is definitely going to be 4/4 with the commander itself, which will probably gain a lot of life. So yeah, this probably was quite a bit of a mistake. Because opponent could actually attack with one creature and get a lot and actually gain much more life. Maybe next turn opponent will do that. Either way, so basically this artifact, basically if one creature attacks, it gets +1/+1 for each creature you control. Basically is the thing that probably will make this match unwinnable, because no matter what I will no matter what I will get, at the end it's not gonna be enough. Even if we're gonna think about like a lot of triggered abilities, like even if we will sacrifice all creatures, and even if all creature on a battlefield will die, it's probably not going to kill opponent, because again, with triggered abilities, because opponent has this lifelink that constantly rebuilds the life. And if opponent will start to utilize this strategy by attacking with only one creature next turn, we're done. So now I'm kind of going into the... So before that, like the previous turn, I thought about playing kind of a certain, like a proactive game. Now I'm playing a reactive game. Previous turn, I just wanted to build as many cards, put as many cards on the battlefield that could trigger passive abilities of draining life. But now I understand that it's not going to work, so I'm trying to do kind of both, but at the same time react to being able to block flyers. But of course I'm not going to be able to do that, so this is probably going to be our last kind of turn, because even if I will block with 7/6 right now, I mean, the only thing that opponent needs is just attack with those flyers, and that's it. Okay, this is super not cool. So now opponent will have even more artifacts, more creatures to attack with. So even if, like, I believe opponent, of course, can win by attacking with all creatures at the same time, not even just flyers. But now, with the additional flyers, of course, we're done here. It all depends if opponent decides to prolong this game or just basically finish it with one turn. Because since this event, in most cases, just for the purpose of getting experience, not every win in this event is all about finish as quick as possible and get the reward, because getting up to 6 wins, it's not that big of a deal actually. You will get to 6 wins pretty quickly. I did it for about an hour. I mean, I spent for about an hour to gain this thing. So again, getting to 6 wins, it's not that big of a deal. The hardest thing is to actually kind of, or the most valuable thing is to probably gain experience in playing first the format itself, getting familiar with new mechanics, getting familiar with strategies of those decks, and etc. So, and most of the games of that kind are actually kind of focused, I believe, on that. So, so this is one of the reasons why in most of these games I've mostly focused on staying in the game as long as possible, even if I know that I'm going to lose. Maybe we could basically go through a pretty awesome comeback, which we didn't. We almost killed opponent. We didn't finish the game by winning, but it was awesome game in general because opponent basically rebuilt itself pretty quickly, although we almost killed opponent. I had myself a lot of decks like this in my collection, like just in my personal decks, that actually do specifically the exact way. Their main focus is to basically, so they're not necessarily reactive, they're more like proactive. They do their own thing, like opponent is basically doing its own thing, and then when I'm ready, I'm starting to utilize this awesome strategy, and I'm basically getting back on my feet, and in the end potentially will win the game if cards are right. So, or if I have the ability to like go through the pretty awesome comeback. So yeah, I guess this is for this match. Again, it was relatively short. We're not going to make it even longer. This sums it up. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, give it a boost. If you want more, subscribe and set the bell note. To be a part of MTG Study live sessions, join us, our streams here at AleksTabletops. Have a nice day or night, and see you in the next episode, which is going to be like right now. Bye.